everyone. Today we are going to read our chapter That is Enduring Script. And first of all, we read about the author. Our author's name is Amara Bhavani Dev. Amara Bhavani Dev teaches high school mathematics at Good Shepherd Convent, Bangalore. In 2000, in 2003, she won highly commanded prize for her entry for a horseshoe nail in the Commonwealth Broadcasting Association's short story competition. So, meanings in context, freelance means self employed, hired to work for different companies, and pursue means continue with, and elude means escape from, and regale means entertain with conversation, and mimic means imitate in order to entertain or ridicule. Attic means a space or room inside or partly inside the roof of a building, and exclusive means high class and expensive, and blockbuster means a book or a film that is very successful, and treatment means the presentation of a subject, and beacon means a light or fire on the top of field that act as a signal. So that is enduring script. That's we are going to read. So seated in our drawing room, Daddy quietly wrote into the night, the green ink from his fountain pen turning thoughts into words in his beautiful handwriting. My mother and little sister would be fast asleep in the bedroom, but I sat huddled in a blanket on the cane chair opposite his desk and watched. It was the 1960s. We lived in Chennai in a smiling, modest house with whitewashed walls and the green windows, a big garden around it, and an inviting porch to help make ends meet. My parents had rented out half the house. Daddy was a freelance writer contributing short stories to Tamil magazines and a script for films, although the film offers were few and far between. Before I was born, he had once held a steady, well paying job in Trivandrum as Malayalam newsreader. His name Nagarkoil K. Padmanabhan, known to all India radio listeners in Kerala. He had suddenly resigned from AIR to pursue with relentless passion his dreams of being a writer. Among Daddy's early friends in Chennai were actors Jamini Ganeshan and Nagesh, the comedian. Nageshan continued to visit us even after he became famous. I would look out starstruck as his blue faith draw in. He had teased my handsome dad, calling him Mapillai, Tamil for bridegroom, and the two would go on talking shop. One thing Daddy had gained early from his writing was Mummy, an English literature graduate and avid reader. She was a fan of Daddy's magazine stories. The two became pen pals, met, and got married, although the doe eyed beauty from Bangalore was no Brahmin like Daddy. It was a huge leap of faith to marry intercaste in those days. As I sat there watching Daddy, I wondered what he would write every day. I knew how he always worked on his next story at night, even as he was working on his current one at the film studios. My big hit is just a script away. He would smile and deep dimples showing. Aren't you sleepy? No, I had mumbled. Although I had often dozed off in the chair and he had carried me to bed next to mom, I would dream of reams of white paper filled with green writing and of valiant heroes. Good always trumpet over evil, and Dad's heroes were always good. When I was 10, he gave me Harper Lee's novel To Kill a Mockingbird, a rather new book then, just one story like that is enough for a lifetime, he said. I sensed the longing in him. He had a body of work by then, but a big hit eluded him. The novel made a great impact on me. And how right Daddy was. Harper Lee never wrote another novel, it became a legend with her only book. Summer nights, Daddy would regale us with tales about the film shoots. He was a good mimic with his radio star's voice and was an excellent actor himself. And I would sign what a wonderful thing it is to be a writer. On Sundays and holidays, I would go up to the attic where I hid my journal and write endless stories of my own. When Daddy wrote a script for Telugu producers, they would be in English. Sometimes he would ask me for a particular English word, which I had supplied. My my heart would swell with pride that I was a part of his writing. My sister Anuradha and I studied at Chennai's Holy Angel Convent, a most exclusive school which my father could ill afford. Still, he wanted us to study and speak English well, an entitlement he had said. Then one day I heard my parents whisper excitedly of a lucrative offer that had come to daddy for a Telugu film. At last we would be rich, and mom had promised me a red frock, some stationery, and a new doll. There was an air of suppressed excitement in the house, of dreams that were finally coming true. I had a school picnic to go on early one morning. The evening before, daddy had come home, tired from work, but took me out to buy snacks and sweets for the picnic. My bucket was crammed with goodies. I was bursting with joy. Daddy set the alarm for 5 in the morning, ironed my clothes for the next day, and went to bed. The next morning, the alarm clock went off. I got up, but Daddy did not. He passed away in his sleep, a coronary thrombosis, the doctor explained. I was 13, my sister Anuradha 8, and Daddy was 41. Along with his dad, along with his body, our dreams too went up in flames. But Nindu Hrudayalu, the Telugu movie he had scripted with superstar N.T. Ramarao in the lead, had celebrated its 100th day. The producer sent some additional money to my mother for the Hindi distribution rights of the film. The movie was blockbuster and the film in its genre. Daddy's script became a recurring Bollywood theme. Three brothers separated in childhood reunites as adults, avenging their parents' misfortunes. Another Telugu producer has visited us to offer his condolences. He remarked ruefully that my father's script for him was left half done. I know the story. I told him I could finish it for you. He looked at me with kind eyes. Are you sure? I noted Daddy discussed the treatment with me. He smiled at my use of jargon. I completed the script for him. My mother, who had been a teacher before her marriage, we went back to support the family. We left our beloved home and city, moving to my mother's ancestral home in Bangalore. Then, as years rolled by, life mindered in different directions for Anuradha and me. But our love for language and the written word stood us in good state. Study completed, Anuradha became a marketing professional while I became a mathematics teacher. We soon had our families and children to rise, even so, Daddy's unfinished dreams lingered on. Both Anuradha and I continued to write. I brought out a collection of my poems, while my sister published her anthology of short stories and a novel. In 2003, my entry for a horseshoe nail in the Commonwealth Broadcasting Association's short story competition won a highly commanded prize selected from 3,700 stories. The competition was tough. The judges informed me your story was beautifully told and very well written, centered on the organ donation racket. It was set in a remote Tamil Nadu village but read across the world. A UK doctor used the story as a topic for debate among his university students. The following years, it was Anuradha's turn. She too won a highly commanded prize for her story. Today, my elder daughter, Darshana Ramdev, is journalist with the Deccan Chronicles. She always wanted to write. My younger one, Diksha, studying computer science, is also an ardent writer and has an active cricketer blog, the Tea Towel Explanations. I'm going to be a cricket writer one day, she says as if it were a warning. Let me finish my engineering. Daddy passed away in 1970, 2 generations ago, I had say, but his single minded devotion to writing still grows like a beacon among his children and grandchildren. Anybody can die, yet, as I finished one more piece, this story you have read, I have something for sure about that. His writing never stopped it. Written by Amara Bhavani Dev. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you all.